What's up everyone, EJ here and welcome to the I Am Project, where as always I simply hope to spark a little bit of curiosity when it comes to the topic of consciousness. Now, before I begin, I will say that if my voice sounds a little funky or if my accent sounds a little strong, just know I have 4 stitches right here, so my lip feels a little funny. So I appreciate your patience, but today we're going to be doing the first video of a 2-part series. The topic that I wanted to cover was just too long to make into one video, so I decided to break it up into 2. And yeah, I just hope you guys enjoy it. So today we're going to be talking about the basement meditation, training to failure. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Growing up as the youngest of 3 athletic brothers created a natural laboratory. A laboratory for competition, comparison, and the search for individual identity. Constant physical activity developed early body awareness. Being the youngest created a drive to prove myself and carve my own path. My brothers excelled at soccer as well as other disciplines, and I needed something different, something that was personally mine. Then I had a out of this reality experience that cracked open awareness beyond the physical realm. A glimpse behind the veil that made me see my body differently. And from that point on, the seed was planted. The bodybuilding, macho warrior lifestyle wasn't just attractive, it was magnetic. Icons like Arnold, Stallone, Bruce Lee, and even cartoon figures like Johnny Bravo represented mastery over the physical form. Muscles, power, and aesthetics. This wasn't just vanity, though, teenage motivations for looking good were real. It was about the body as art, as a temple, as a project. The discipline required things like meal prep, calorie counting, sometimes 2-day sessions and supplements created a structured practice. The basement gym became my sacred space, isolated, intentional, and quiet. Training alone became the norm, unknowingly mirroring the solitary nature of spiritual seeking. The threshold experience. Training to failure became my portal to deeper understanding. That moment when muscles shake, the body screams, "Stop!" Yet, you discover you can continue. This taught me the fundamental lesson. You have more power than your protective mechanisms suggest. Muscular failure is a gateway state, a moment when body, mind, and will converge in total presence. Muscles shake and tremble under maximum load. Pain and fatigue signals flood the nervous system as a protective response. The body's job is to survive. It will scream to stop before actual danger or damage is done. You must maintain control and form while pushing past perceived limitations. Micro tears form in muscle fibers. Breakdown precedes rebuilding. Fear arises. I can't do this anymore. Will overrides instinct. You consciously choose to continue. Trust develops. You learn the pain is temporary and purposeful. Presence intensifies. There is only this rep, this breath, and this moment. You discover something profound. You are not your body's protective voice. You are the one who can observe it and choose differently. Life presents failure points too. Moments where everything feels too heavy to carry. Old belief systems and identity structures fail under the weight of new awareness. Spiritual growth requires pushing past comfort zones into the unknown, the shaking, the resistance, the voice that says, stop. These are signals that you're at the edge of expansion. Just like in the gym, quitting isn't an option when growing is the goal. And there's a manifestation principle here. In quantum theory, observation affects outcome. Focused attention shapes reality. When you hold the weight for one more rep, you're manifesting strength through pure intention. The muscle doesn't grow during the lift. It grows during rest because you set the intention through stress. Similarly, consciousness doesn't expand during comfort. It expands when you intentionally challenge your current state. You're literally demonstrating, I am the creator, not just the creation. Isolation and honesty, the laboratory of self. Both bodybuilding and spiritual awakening are fundamentally solitary practices, even when done in community. In the gym, only 3 elements exist: you, the weight, and the mirror. No shortcuts or deception. Results directly reflect effort. Progress cannot be faked, borrowed, or talked into existence. Immediate feedback on what works and what doesn't. The mirror shows what actually is there, not what you wish to be there. And there's loneliness to this path. Meal prep while others eat freely. Early mornings or late night workouts while others sleep. Saying no to social events to stay disciplined. Making choices most people won't understand. The same isolation exists in spiritual seeking. Meditation, self-reflection, questioning reality while others live in autopilot. Both paths require you to step away from the crowd. Self-observation becomes practice, monitoring nutrition, movement patterns, recovery, energy levels, tracking subtle changes in strength, size, and form, learning your body's unique responses and rhythms. You develop proprioception, or awareness of your body in space. This is embodied mindfulness, watching yourself with the same attention a meditator watches thought. The parallel to inner work is clear. Spiritual seeking is ultimately solitary. No one can do the work for you. You can have coaches, mentors, guides, but the actual work is yours alone. Self-honesty is non-negotiable. You can't lie to your consciousness, watching your thoughts, emotions, reactions with the same attention as watching muscles development. The inner mirror shows what's really there. This teaches radical self-responsibility. You are the creator of your own experience. The ego, tool or obstacle. Bodybuilding is notorious in ego-driven sport. This creates both traps and opportunities. Constant self-evaluation and comparison. Judging every inch of your physique in the mirror. The drive for improvement and perfection. It can become vanity, obsession, and even body dysmorphia. Building the physical ideal while potentially inflating the psychological ego. In spiritual work, there's a common teaching. Kill the ego, or transcend the ego. Maybe you've heard of those before. But the reality is actually different. The ego must be observed and integrated, not destroyed. The same critical eye that judges physique can examine beliefs, patterns, and conditioning. The competitive drive can be redirected. Compete with your former self, not others, right? That's key. And here is the synthesis. Bodybuilding teaches you to work with your ego, not against it. The discipline required to transform your body is the exact same discipline needed to transform your mind. Self-observation without self-hatred becomes the key. One builds the ego, the physical ideal. The other dissolves it, the spiritual truth. Yet, both teach transformation requires discomfort, honesty, and sustained effort. The paradox exists. You must have a strong sense of self before you can transcend it. The manifestation laboratory. The body becomes a quantum laboratory. Modern quantum theory suggests observation affects reality. We've talked about this before. The gym becomes a literal manifestation laboratory. Focused attention on the body creates measurable physical change. Visualization and mind-muscle connection enhance results. It's been proven, right? Intention shapes outcome. Training with purpose produces different results than going through the motions. The body responds to consciousness in real time. You're practicing the observer effect. Your awareness influences the observed, your body. This is manifestation in its most tangible form. Thought, intention, action, material result. Simple. Progressive overload applies to consciousness expansion as well. In bodybuilding, gradually increasing weight, reps, or intensity to force adaptation. In spiritual work, gradually approach deeper fears, deeper questions, and more uncomfortable truth. It's the same thing. The system, body or mind, doesn't change unless given a reason to. Each challenge, slightly beyond current capacity, creates expansion. Plateaus are normal in both domains and often precede breakthrough. Learning to love the challenge rewires your relationship with difficulty. Obeying becomes information, an opportunity, not something to avoid at all cost. Difficulty signals growth, not failure. Discomfort tolerance increases in all areas of life. You develop the capacity to sit with what is, even when it's unpleasant. This is advanced consciousness, holding space for discomfort without collapsing or escaping. The pump versus actual growth. Temporary inflation versus lasting transformation. The pump feels amazing, but disappears within hours. It's a bummer. But actual muscle growth is slower, less dramatic, but it's permanent. Spiritual highs and things like workshops, retreats, or peak experiences are pumps in a sense. Integrated daily practices is actual growth. Don't chase the feeling, trust the process, and beware of mistaking temporary states for permanent transformation. This one is the key factor, which I might just make a video about it later on. Your action steps. Step 1. Push your edge. Choose any physical practice. It could be lifting, running, bodyweight work, yoga, it doesn't matter. 3 times per week, when your mind says stop, do 2 to 3 more reps or continue 30 more seconds. Once per week, take 1 set to controlled failure. Notice the voice that wants to quit versus the awareness that chooses to continue. This is a great exercise. Step 2, connect the lesson. After each session, ask, what did my body teach me today about my power? Identify one current life challenge where you're hearing the same stop voice. And trust me, we all hear that voice every day, right? Apply the same principle. Push slightly past your first impulse to quit. That's it. And step 3, track your threshold moments. Keep a simple weekly log of moments you've pushed past your edge, either in physical or something different. Note what you discovered about your capacity. Watch the pattern emerge across different areas of your life, and trust me, you will notice them a lot more. Alright, just from watching this video, you would start noticing this stuff, and it's insane. Just when you decide to pay attention. The fundamental truth. The iron taught me what life was already trying to teach. You are not your protective mechanisms. You are the awareness that can observe and override them. Discomfort is the price for transformation. What you constantly stress strengthens. You are more powerful than you know. What I didn't know in those early days of training was that I was already meditating, counting reps in the basement or in the gym, pushing through burns. I was already practicing presence, self-observation, and the transcendence of protective limits. I was unconsciously doing consciousness work through the body. Now, with awareness, the practice deepens. The gym became a sacred laboratory. Each rep became almost like a prayer. Each moment of failure became a threshold. The body and spirit trained together, integrated as one. So, here's a question for you. What's your gym? Where will you learn to push past your edge? To observe yourself honestly? To discover your true power? Find your iron, lift it, and let it teach you who you really are. The weights are waiting, and so is your consciousness. They're the same thing, just viewed in different angles. And to finish off, I just want to give you guys a quick quote from the GOAT himself, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Alright? He said, "What we face may look insurmountable, but I learned something from all those years of training and competition. I learned something from all those sets, from all those reps, when I didn't think I could lift another ounce of weight. What I learned is that we are always stronger than we know." And that's all for today, guys. I hope some of this was useful to somebody out there. And remember, you are loved. Please like and subscribe if that's the case. Until next time, see you guys.